Hi and welcome to this Yin Yoga class. My name is Tobias Mattsson and this is recorded at studioliv in Kungsbacka, Sweden. The first position is when you sit in a hero pose and come down to the side and hold your elbows so you get a side stretch. And in Yin Yoga there are certain points to think about. The first one I'd like to say is only go 50% of your maximum, because if you go too far and get too much of a stretch, the body gets a bit stressed and you engage your muscle. And in Yin Yoga we try to come deep in the joints and in the tissue, and we are not supposed to use our muscles, because one big reason we have muscle is to protect our joints. Like if you step on ice and you are about to fall, you tense your muscles. So you go to about 50% and you let the time do the work. So you stay in the position and you are still, because when we are still, we are not engaging our muscles again. And we let time do the work. So come into a position about 50-60% of your maximum. Relax. Be still. And use a deep breathing pattern. So in Yin Yoga, the idea is to come deep into our joints, like a hinge. If you never use the hinge, it gets rusty, it gets stuck, it gets bad movement, and in the body you'll get pain, no circulation, you'll get stiff, and you get old basically. Children are soft and supple, and the older we get, the stiffer and more rigid we get. So that's why we do Yin Yoga, to keep our movement and our circulation in our body. And it's also very good for our nervous system. When we are still and relaxed for a long time, we enter into our rest and digest system. And the common practice in Yin Yoga is to sit in a position for 3 to 9 minutes something. So I'm gonna keep it a bit fluent here and switch sides on this one. That was probably 1-2 minutes or something. And when we switch sides, there can be a different version in our body. We usually have a dominant side, so it can feel a bit different. And I'm not going to talk through the whole class. Sometimes they call Yin Doctor quiet, and there's no need for words more than the instructions to be still and have a little bit of tension so you feel something, and then just let time do the work and be still with your own thoughts and your inner life, and just keep a deep, steady breathing pattern. Low and slow is the common expression. I sometimes find it useful to use ujjayi, ocean breath, so you can hear your breathing, so you easily can notice if it's fast and irregular or not the long and deep breathing we are after to really get into our rest mode. And come out of this position. Here I have a sand glass for cooking. It's 5 minutes. So I'm gonna come into a hanging dragon here for 5 minutes. It's a bit of a depressing position, but sad is not bad. And it's quite comforting to keep your body closed and tight like this. And if you can't get your heels on the floor in this position, you just put them on a block or bolster or something. And here we relax and let the body weight put the pressure on the spine and the joints in the hips, in the feet. And that was 5 minutes of sand. It's a good practice to move slowly when you get out of the yin position. Once again, not to engage muscle. And it's a common practice to rest a bit or do some slow movements in between poses. So there's no rush in Yin Yoga. The next position is a fire dog. So you put your feet above your knees. And perhaps put a bolster in between here if it's a bit painful. And then again, just stop where it feels 50% of your maximum. And as times go by and you don't feel any small tension again, you can go deeper into your position. And as this position works on the big powerful muscles around the hips, it's very easy to to tense too much. So always think about your relaxation and being still and breathe. And we let time do the work. And after a few minutes we can usually go a bit deeper into the position to keep a bit of discomfort. We need to feel something to get some benefit, but it shouldn't be any red pain. A bit of orange is okay, and we stay in the discomfort by concentrating on our breathing. Deep, slow breathing, and stay with the discomfort. I like to call Yin Yoga Mental Kungfu because it can be very hard, I think, to be still in a bit painful position and just be with your thoughts. Sometimes we can hide a stressed mind by engaging in a practice with a lot of movement. Movement can be very comforting, and stillness and meditation can almost be scary. So now after about 2 minutes I don't feel so much, so I take away this bolster. I breathe out and go a bit deeper. Not so much that I tense up, but just a little bit deeper. And that was 5 minutes. So come slowly out of the position. It's called fire log for a reason. And do some slow windshield wipers. And switch sides. And we try another 5 minutes. Yin Yoga promotes the hyaluronic acid, I think it's called. It's the glide hormone in our tissue and in our muscles. So it's used for keeping our body movable. And in Yin Yoga, as we restrain the circulation for a few minutes, when we then release again, we get the circulation back. So it promotes circulations by stopping and starting it, basically. So it's a bit like when you squeeze a sponge full of water. Our body is 70% water. And we have our lymphatic system, which has no heart but needs movement to work correctly. So there's a constant flow of blood and lymphatic fluids in between our cells and our muscles and our joint tissue and our fascia and everything around our skeletal bone structure. And that was 5 minutes on the other side. I can feel I have a different kind of tension and this side. So some slow movements and a bit of rest before the next position. After a while with Yin Yoga, you can enter into a very slow, nice mindset. Like any time when we take the time to really rest for a bit. I'm going to do a full saddle, so I'll probably need something like this. 50 plus stiff old runner. So I really need Yin Yoga. And I'm planning to take a lot more of my time doing it. Because it's so beneficial. So this was quite a good start. I feel a bit in my tights and my hips, but not too much, so I'll start here. So now and again, think about your checkpoints. Am I in a 50% tension? Do I relax all my muscles? Am I still? Do I keep a long, slow breath? So right now I don't feel so much tension. So I'll actually move slowly out of the saddle position and take away one of the cork blocks and come back down. And I'll do another 5 minutes. You don't need many positions in Yin Yoga. In my view, you can do one for 20 minutes and you'll get even more benefits. I don't find it very useful to do 20 positions in a class and keep them for 2-3 minutes. You'll get much deeper work if you stay for a long time in each position. So another 5 minutes has gone. And come slowly out of the position. Perhaps help out a bit with your hands and your elbows. And move slowly. And there can be a bit of a rush in the body, sort of like energy coming back in circulation. Can be a bit of tingling. And we stay for a rebound with our eyes closed. And just feel the sensation in our bodies. And since the start of the class, I can feel that my breathing has gone deeper and slower. I even speak slower. And I'm just in a more relaxed frame of mind, which is very beneficial to us in this stressful, fast-paced time. So we come up and just do a forward fold here. I'll try 5 minutes, but it might be a bit much. And this position works on the spine with the help of the weight of the skeletal and our head, which is 6 to 8 kilos. It's like a bowling ball. And it works on the back side of our whole body. In my view, almost any position can be a yin position if it doesn't require too much muscle engagement. Then we lose the yin part of the position. But you will notice that some yin positions have a bit of a muscle engagement just to keep our stability or keeping us upright or being able to stay in the position. But usually then there's some part of the body that can be in a relaxed state where we can get the yin benefits. And it can sound a bit scary to get deep in our joints, but when we do it carefully, anything in our body we put pressure on or use gets stronger. So we actually need to put stress on our body. The word stress is not negative, it's just use of the body. So there can be positive stress. When we stress our muscles, our bone structure, our ligaments, our tissue, our joints, they get stronger. If you ever shaken hands with a piano player or something, you can feel that they have a lot of muscle in their hands. Use it or lose it. Motion is lotion. And 5 minutes later, we come slowly back on our knees for a rest. And now we come straight down to a tight little baby pose here. It's also a very comforting, resetting pose as we keep our body tight together and close to the floor. And now, slowly, and with the help of your hands, come back up straight to a hero pose again. And now move your legs a bit apart and your heels as well. So you can let your butt come down in between your heels towards the mat. And just careful here, because the reason for the position is to actually stress our knees a bit, so they come down to the full range of motion together. And if it gets too painful, you'll sit on something or move your heels a bit together as support for your butt. And the same here, we relax, we stay with the discomfort, and have comfort in that we strengthen our knee joints by stressing it this way. As this is a very powerful position, we're not gonna stay too long. So we come out of hero pose slowly. And now close your eyes. Feel the sensation as the circulation starts in your body again. And now we continue with the next position, which is a forward fold with one leg strapped in. A lot of positions in Yin Yoga work on the hips, and that's because it's our most stable part of our body with the biggest muscle, like our thighs, and a lot of stress can get stuck here in our seat area and just the lifestyle we live. We sit and eat breakfast, we sit at school or work, we sit in our cars, we sit in our sofas. And as adults, we don't get the movement of a kid playing around outside. So that's why many positions in Yin Yoga focus on the hips. to get our movement back and to release tension and old traumas that are stuck in our body as muscle activation. When we get stressed, we activate muscles. Like if we get scared, we tense up. And I believe that tension can cause like a memory in our muscles. And if we live a very stressful life, we are very tense for a very long time, and that shows in our body. Our body is a blueprint of our genetics, our age, and our lifestyle, and the amount of stress and hardship we have endured through our life. But as I feel the body is so amazing, it's possible to reverse a lot of our problems with our bodies. Like every seventh year, every single cell in our body have been replaced, even our whole skeletal system. So we are in constant repair, and every time we exercise, we tear down tissue, we actually break with every movement, but at the same time we are in a constant repair with our lymphatic system and our cell generation. 5 minutes down, come slowly back to an upright position. We can do the windshield wipers again. And then switch sides. So you fold your wrist towards your knees and relax and stay down. There's a saying that goes something like this: we are born soft but unstable, and we die stiff but stable. So we want to fight the stiffness, keep our movement range in all our joints, so we don't get tighter and lose our range of motion and our way of motion. And 5 minutes have now passed on this side. We come out of the position. Do any kind of movement you like. Perhaps stretch and yawn. Yawning is very relaxing. And we'll continue with a double fold. Here we can sit on something if we don't get the balance point on the right side of the hip flexor here. We want to tilt the hip, perhaps use something under our knees, and perhaps rest on something here and fold forward. And I can repeat the essential points to think about in Yin Yoga. We come into our position just as far, so we feel about 50-60% tension. So we don't go to our maximum. We go to a gentle 50%, just a bit of feel to the position. And then we stay still, very, very still, so we don't engage any muscles. And we relax. We talk to our different areas in our body if we feel that they are getting tense. So in this position I can think about relaxing my shoulders, my neck muscles, and just relax and trust that my body is in a safe position. And there's no need for muscle protection for my joints. And that's why it usually takes a minute for the body to send the signal that this position is okay. You are not going to hurt yourself. And in the first minute, there's usually a bit of muscle tension going on. Purely automatic to protect our joints. One of our main jobs for our muscles. And then stay in the position. Keep a deep, low and slow breathing pattern. And just stay with our thoughts. It's very common to use music in Yin Yoga and any type of yoga. And music is very powerful, but it's also very distracting for our mind, and it uses up a lot of our brain power, as our hearing is our main protection system. We hear so much better than with our sight as humans. We can hear 360 around our body. We can hear stuff far away. And we are programmed to detect like bass sounds. And that excites us. And I think the reason is that bass sounds in nature is thunder or earthquakes. And then you really need to get excited to survive. And then our body sends out a lot of hormones, like to get ready to fight and flight, be alert, all systems on. And that can feel very nice, of course. But it's also a stress on our body. Our hearing is constantly monitoring our surroundings. So when you listen to music, your brain is constantly analyzing the frequencies, the tones, the notes, the sound level. And it's not because it's music, because it's just because our hearing is our main area of protection. It guards us when we sleep. It guards us in any environmental area we move about in. So I think silence can be very powerful. It's the jet fuel of meditation. and come slowly back up. That was probably a lot more than 5 minutes. And now I naturally feel I need to move slowly. It hurts a bit in a very good way. Time flies, and I'm gonna finish this class with one final position, and that's a butterfly. But first, I need some movements. Just slow movements to get the circulation back everywhere. And then we finish off with a butterfly. If you like, you can use something under your legs, or just let your knees hang in the air. So I thank you for watching this class, and hope to see you some other time.